Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're diving into the world of AI today. But not just the tech itself.
Right.
We're going deeper
Okay.
to get to know the minds behind it.
I like it.
And today we're focusing on Jan LeCun.
Jan LeCun.
Yeah.
Now you're speaking my language.
Right.
A true legend.
Okay.
You can't talk about deep learning without his name coming up.
He's like the godfather.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, before this deep dive, I knew more about what deep learning was than about, like, the man himself.
Okay.
So for those of us who need a little backstory, who is this guy?
Well, picture this. 1960s France.
Okay.
A young Jan LeCun is already deep into electronics, science fiction.
He's a child of the times.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Fast forward a bit. He's graduating with an engineering degree.
Okay.
Then a Ph.D.
Wow.
All while, like, really getting captivated by this whole idea of machines that can learn.
Okay, so
Yeah.
clearly a brilliant guy, but what was it that really, like, sparked his interest early on?
He was really into this method called backpropagation,
Okay.
which is basically,
Yeah.
teaching computers to learn from their mistakes.
So kind of like how we learn, but
That's
with,
right.
like, lines of code instead of, scraped knees.
Exactly. Except with computers,
Yeah.
those mistakes are all measured mathematically.
Okay.
LeCun, he was convinced that backpropagation,
Yeah.
that was the key
Interesting.
to unlocking some next-level AI capabilities.
Okay.
And, his work during his PhD, that really laid the groundwork for what would become a revolution in the field.
So this leads us to convolutional neural networks, CNNs.
Right.
Now, I know these are important,
Yeah.
but I need a little more than just the fancy name.
Okay.
What's the deal with CNNs and what makes them so groundbreaking?
Think about how we see the world. We recognize patterns, shapes, objects.
Right.
LeCun essentially taught computers to do the same thing. But with data,
Interesting.
he developed CNNs back in the 90s.
Okay.
And they've honestly become the backbone of, like, image recognition, facial recognition,
Yeah.
even self-driving car technology.
Hold on, self-driving cars, that's not just recognizing, like, a stop sign. That's
Yeah.
processing a ton of visual information
It is.
in real time to make these complex decisions.
Exactly. CNNs are designed to analyze visual data
Wow.
in a way that actually kind of mimics the human visual system.
Interesting.
They break down images into these smaller parts,
Okay.
identify the features, the patterns,
Yeah.
and then piece it all together to see and understand the image as a whole.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's really amazing.
It is pretty amazing.
But it's not all theoretical, right? This wasn't just some pie-in-the-sky research project.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
One of the earliest applications of CNNs was in banking.
Okay.
A French bank used LeCun's technology to read and process handwritten checks.
Wow.
Can you imagine how revolutionary that was at the time?
That is revolutionary, especially now. That we're so used to, like, snapping a photo of a check with our phones to deposit it.
Exactly.
It's like his work really paved the way for that.
Absolutely. And his influence just keeps growing,
Yeah.
Remember Facebook? Well, now Meta,
Right.
they recruited LeCun to lead their AI research lab, FAIR.
Wow.
He's been there pushing the boundaries ever since.
That's a pretty big deal, leading the AI charge
He is.
at, like, a tech giant like Meta.
Right.
He's got to be in the middle of all these crazy advancements
Oh, absolutely.
that we keep seeing.
Yeah.
But there's something interesting here
Okay.
in the research. He doesn't seem to buy into all the hype
Okay.
about AI becoming sentient
Right.
or, like, surpassing human intelligence.
Interesting. That's
Yeah.
a really important point.
Okay.
LeCun is a big believer in AI as a tool
Okay.
to augment human capabilities,
Mm.
not to replace us.
Interesting.
He said that comparing artificial intelligence to the human brain is like comparing a plane to a bird.
Okay.
Both fly,
Right.
but they do it in totally different ways.
So no Terminator scenario then.
Not if LeCun has anything to say about it.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Interesting.
He sees it as this powerful tool,
Yeah.
but a tool nonetheless.
Okay.
And like any tool,
Right.
needs to be designed and used responsibly.
Which brings us to what I find really interesting about LeCun.
Okay.
His stance on open source AI.
Right.
This is a guy at the forefront of AI research at one of the biggest tech companies in the world.
Absolutely.
And he's advocating for making AI accessible
I know, right?
to everyone.
It's amazing.
It's incredible.
He really believes
Yeah.
that open source AI
Okay.
is crucial for democratizing access to this powerful technology.
Oh, okay.
He argues that by making these tools and the knowledge
Yeah.
widely available,
Right.
we can prevent the concentration of power
Okay.
in just the hands of a few and instead foster greater innovation.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Right?
But it's not just about access, is it?
Well, exactly.
That's also about making sure that AI is developed with diverse perspectives in mind.
Absolutely. He's been very vocal about that.
Okay.
The need for greater diversity and inclusion
Yeah.
in the field of AI.
Makes sense.
He recognizes that if the people designing these technologies,
Right.
if they don't represent like the full diversity of humanity,
Yeah.
we risk
Right.
perpetuating existing biases
Yeah.
and inequalities.
Okay, so we've talked about his past breakthroughs
Yeah.
and his vision for a more inclusive AI future.
Yes.
Where is he focusing his energy these days?
Okay.
What's got him excited in the world of AI?
One word. Self-supervised learning.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard that term.
Right.
It sounds pretty sci-fi to me.
It does.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine a child
Okay.
learning about the world.
Right.
They don't need to be explicitly taught everything, right?
Yeah. Right.
They observe, they experiment,
Right.
they figure things out on their own.
Yeah.
Self-supervised learning aims to do the same thing,
Okay.
but for machines.
So instead of like
Yeah.
feeding the computer tons of labeled data,
Right.
like this is a cat, this is a dog,
Right, exactly.
you're letting it learn more organically
But
by just like observing and making connections on its own.
You got it.
Interesting.
LeCun argues that traditional supervised learning,
Okay.
while effective,
Yeah.
has limitations.
Okay.
It requires massive amounts of labeled data,
Right.
which can be expensive and time-consuming to create,
Right.
and it can lead to AI systems that are
Okay.
really good at like very specific tasks,
Right.
but then they struggle with anything
Exactly.
outside of their training data.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't know what to do.
Right.
So self-supervised learning
Yeah.
is about teaching AI to be more adaptable,
Yes.
more like how humans learn.
So by training AI systems
But it's
on
a-
vast amounts of data,
Right.
but unlabeled data,
Yes.
you're letting it kind of
You got it.
figure it out.
It develops this more
Yeah.
generalized understanding of the world.
So like how we
Similar to how, like,
build common sense
yes, yeah,
and intuition.
exactly.
But how do you even begin to design
Right.
an AI system that can learn like that?
That's the question.
It sounds incredibly complex.
It is complex, but at its core,
Okay.
the idea is actually pretty simple.
Okay.
You basically present the AI system with a puzzle,
Okay.
a task that requires it to make sense of the data.
Right.
For example,
Yeah.
you might mask out parts of an image
Okay.
and ask the AI to predict what's missing.
Yeah.
Or you might, like, shuffle up the order of words in a sentence
Right.
and ask it to reconstruct the original order.
Interesting.
So-
So by solving these puzzles,
Yes.
the AI system starts to learn
Exactly.
the underlying patterns and relationships.
Exactly. It's like learning by doing.
Interesting.
Through repeated exposure
Okay.
and problem solving,
Yeah.
the AI system develops its own internal representations of the data
Okay.
without needing those explicit labels or
Okay.
instructions.
That's incredible. What are the potential applications of this?
Well,
Where does self-supervised learning fit into like the bigger picture of AI development?
the potential is huge.
Okay.
LeCun believes that this is the key
Okay.
to unlocking this new generation
Right.
of AI systems that are
Okay.
more robust, more adaptable,
Yeah.
and way more capable of handling like the complexities of the real world.
So we're not just talking about AI that can
Right.
recognize images or,
Right.
translate languages. We're talking about AI that can...
We're talking about AI that can understand context,
Okay.
that can reason abstractly,
Wow.
and even, be creative.
Wow. It's mind-blowing when you really think about the possibilities. But like with any powerful technology,
Right.
there are always like concerns.
Of course, yeah.
What about the potential downsides of, self-supervised learning? What keeps LeCun up at night?
That's a really, really important question.
Yeah.
LeCun is very aware
Okay.
of all the ethical considerations
Right.
that surround AI.
Yeah.
He's been very vocal, actually,
Right.
about responsible AI development,
Right.
emphasizing things like
Yeah.
transparency,
Okay.
fairness,
Right.
accountability.
Right. So it's not just about like
Right.
building the most advanced AI.
It's not just about that.
Right. It's
Yeah.
about building it in a way that actually
Yeah.
benefits humanity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
LeCun believes that AI has this potential to solve some of the world's biggest problems.
Yeah.
From climate change to diseases.
Right. Okay.
But only if we approach it.
Yeah.
Thoughtfully.
Right.
Ethically.
Right. And that means considering, like,
Right. Exactly.
the potential consequences of these technologies before we just kind of, like...
Before we just unleash them.
Unleash them on the world.
Right.
Which I think makes his, like, commitment to open source AI even more significant.
Yeah, it's about making sure that the development of AI is a collaborative and inclusive process.
It's inspiring to see someone at the forefront of their field so dedicated to, you know,
I know, it's amazing.
Using their knowledge and influence for like, the greater good.
He's thinking about the big picture.
Yeah, it's not just about the technology itself.
Right.
It's about the impact it has on society.
And that's what makes him so fascinating.
Yeah.
He's not just a brilliant scientist.
Right. Yeah.
An engineer.
Yeah.
He's like a philosopher.
Interesting.
You know?
Yeah.
He's always grappling with these big questions.
Right. Like, what does it all mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
About AI.
Yeah.
Its potential.
Right.
Its limitations.
Yeah.
Its implications for the future of humanity.
Yeah. He's not shying away.
Not at all.
From those big questions at all.
He's leaning in.
He's leaning in. Yeah, he's pushing those boundaries.
Pushing the boundaries of what we even thought was possible.
Right.
But also, like, urging all of us to really think critically about the path that we're on.
It makes you wonder.
It really does.
As these systems become more sophisticated, more capable of, like, learning and adapting.
Yeah.
What does that even mean for our own understanding?
Right, exactly. What does it even mean to be intelligent anymore?
Will we need to, like, redefine it?
Yeah, maybe.
In this world that's increasingly shaped by, you know, artificial minds.
It's a question that has no easy answers.
Right.
But it's a question that we have to confront.
And that's the beauty of a deep dive like this.
Exactly.
We've gone beyond just, like, the headlines and the hype. We've really gotten to explore.
We've really gotten to understand.
The life, the work, the vision of one of the most influential figures in AI today.
Absolutely. A true pioneer.
Yeah. Pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible.
Absolutely.
While at the same time challenging us to really think about...
Think deeply.
About the kind of future that we're creating.
He's amazing.
Yeah. And with that, I think we'll wrap up this deep dive into the world of Jan LeCun. We hope you've enjoyed it.
It's been a journey.
As much as we have.
It really has.
Until next time.
See